And we are hopefully live.
Okay. Okay, right. I'm not terrified at all. It's fine. Hello, and yeah, welcome to a Q&A live stream. Before we get started, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. So for starters, I'm super nervous, as you can probably tell. And because of that, I cannot see any of your comments or questions as they come in. I have the screen turned away from me, and my lovely assistant in the form of my husband will be monitoring all the comments. He will be picking the questions from the live chat. And if you see Hooked by Robin commenting in the comment section at all, just know that's him. So he's logged in as me. I can't see anything that is coming in. Okay, so whilst I wait for people to arrive and find me, about 7 months ago, I asked on both YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook if you had any questions for me. So I'm a tiny bit late, but hopefully your questions are still valid. And loads of you asked me questions, and I printed them out, and I have them all in my yarn bowl over here. So I can pick from these for the sort of questions. I've done my best not to read them, so they're prepared questions, but my answers are not. My husband is going to be directing me this evening. He's going to be interrupting me when there are questions or super chats. Now, just a note about super chat: it is enabled. Please do not feel you have to use super chat. Ask your questions in the normal chat, and my husband will pick. So obviously super chats will take priority, but I just wanted to get that out of the way.
I can't see them in the streaming app. I can see them on my phone. There's no comments coming through on the
app. Nothing. Oh, okay, so you can monitor it on your phone.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Let me know in the comments if you can hear my husband as well when he was talking then, because that way we'll be able to hear both of us, because we're essentially just having a chat and ignoring the fact there's a few people watching. I don't know. Go on, tell me.
135.
Oh my.
Hello.
Okay. So that's kind of the housekeeping out of the way. I don't know if we're going to be able to pin comments then, Cam, whilst we just sort out the sort of tech side. Hold on 2 seconds. If you want to maybe refresh, I don't know if that will then kill the live stream.
I won't want to attempt killing the live stream. It's basically saying it doesn't support comments on private videos, but it isn't a private video, so I don't know why it isn't.
Okay, well, okay, right. So we won't be able to beautifully pin your comments like we had hoped, because a bit of a tech fail. But that aside, over to my husband to be master of ceremonies. Cam, do you have a question, or should I go ahead and pick from the bowl?
I would say pick one from the bowl, just while I review them on my phone.
Okay.
It might take me a minute just to catch up off the technical failure.
Okay, all right. I'm going to just go in and I'm going to pick a question and I'm going to try and answer it. Also, in advance, when I film my videos, I have the joy of editing them afterwards, so I look beautiful and professional. And the reality is I'm chaos, and this live stream is probably also going to be a bit chaotic, but hopefully that's fine. All right, I'm going in and I'm picking a question whilst my husband tries to sort the tech side of things. Oh, all right. Okay, so this looks like quite a short question. So this was asked on YouTube. Taylor H. Oh, straight off the bat, what is your favorite yarn and hook? Okay, so I think a lot of you may know this already. My favorite hooks are absolutely Clover Amore hooks. They're the best hooks out there for my personal grip. They're brilliant. They're lovely and weighted. They are my favorite hooks. I don't use any other hook at all. As for my favorite yarn, that fluctuates on a daily basis. I don't know if you can see my wall of yarn behind me here in the sitting room, but yeah, if it's got pretty rainbow colors in it, that's my favorite type of yarn. So I hope that answers Taylor's question. Right, my husband looks like he's still messing with tech, so I'm going to go straight in to the yarn bowl. Hello, by the way, to everybody in the live stream, even though I can't see you guys replying. I hope This is a fun stream.
So we have had a couple of questions.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
I'm just playing catch up. And hello to anonymous Amy, who said hello to Robin's husband. So of course you get a shout out.
Okay. Yeah, if you're nice to him, then you've probably got a better chance of being picked.
Picking from there downwards, someone's asked, can you put an easy peasy pattern on your tube for child's poncho?
A child's poncho?
Yes.
Wow, you're going straight in with the difficult
questions. Out there, isn't it?
The questions. Yeah. Okay, so
that one was from Vicky Lakey.
Right, Vicky. Okay, so clothing, you may notice on my channel a distinct lack of clothing or anything that requires sizing, like hats or cardigans. And that is because, in all honesty, I suck at sizing and doing things that need various sizes. How many times can I say sizing in one answer? So I have toyed with just a generic poncho. I don't know if I'd be able to do it child. So I don't actually have any children either. My child's 20 years old now, so I don't have anything that I could put it. Yeah, I don't know. Don't hold your breath is the honest answer, because I really suck at sizing. Anything that needs sizing, I never gauge swatch. I'm too impatient for that, and yeah, therefore I'm not good with different sizing. Okay, Cam, looks like he's got another question.
No, I'm just perusing. You're getting a lot of shout outs from the USA tonight.
Oh, exciting.
Everywhere from Ohio to Oklahoma to Texas and California.
I can grab another. Let me grab another pre-prepared.
Yes.
Because we thought this was going to be a lot easier.
Oh, this is a quick one from Polly Woo, and we had a couple of people say this. When are you doing another amigurumi tutorial?
When am I doing another amigurumi? I will be doing another amigurumi probably, I want to say October, November time. I have Alan the Snowman, who has been patiently waiting about 2 years to be filmed. So Alan will be coming out, so maybe end of October, beginning of November for Christmas. If anybody has any amigurumi specific requests, then by all means, drop them in the chat, because I'll read the chat back after this live stream. So if there's anything in particular you want to see, then by all means shout and I'll see what I can do. But amigurumi is difficult to film, so they tend to be much longer videos and they need much more pre-planning. So definitely Alan the Snowman is coming. Look out for him.
Quick question, other than Grogu, who's already had a couple of shout outs behind you. But for the head, I can't pronounce the name, I'm really sorry.
Don't worry.
What got you into crocheting, Robin, and how long have you been crocheting for?
What got me into crocheting, how long for? Okay, so I started crocheting in 2012, I think. What got me into crochet was I was looking for a cheap birthday present for my daughter. She was massively into Minecraft at the time, and I didn't have any money. I was going through a divorce, and I thought this would be a really cheap hobby. I've always been quite crafty, so I very much was like, how hard can it be? Turns out very, not that I knew that at the time. So I started with just a creeper face blanket, and that's how I started. I was looking for a cheap gift that I could just make, and I woefully underestimated how long it would take, how much yarn cost, and how much it would take over my life. So however long ago 2012 was, I can't do the maths off the top of my head. This is why I don't do sizing as well. I can't count. Shall I go for another?
And then I've got another one.
Oh, so, okay, lots of questions from the live chat tonight.
Novell said, hello you two. First of all, you guys are great. Well, obviously. Second, how does the whole buy me a coffee thing work? Okay, so great question. Buy me a coffee is basically a really fancy way of just being able to give me a couple of dollars. It's only in dollars. I don't think there's like a UK equivalent. There might be, but I haven't found it. But it's essentially like a tipping system. So if you want to buy me a coffee, God, that feels so crass saying it. Thanks for that, Cam. I know that's deliberately why you picked that question. That's what people wanted to know. So I don't like talking about money or asking for money. That's what it is. It's just like a little
tip type thing. So if you wanted to buy me like a virtual coffee, you can, but you absolutely do not have to, and it's super awkward talking about it. So thank you, Cam.
Well, an easy one now, which I believe links into a video of yours, is Diamond Parks asked, for the Amigurumi projects, how do you get different sizes? Is the pattern different? How do you make Amigurumi larger?
This one, easy peasy answer. You don't change the pattern, you change your hook size and your yarn. Of course, I've tidied away ahead of this live stream all the yarn that I did have piled up here where I could have shown you. I do have on my channel a short showing literally the size difference by just changing the yarn. So if you want your amigurumi bigger, use a big fat hook and big fat yarn. If you want it really, really small, you can use really fine, some people make it out of thread with a really, really small hook. So yeah, don't change the pattern, just change your yarn and your hook.
You have two cracking comments from a Franca Perotti, then followed up by Rufy Shields. Franca first said, "You don't have a 20-year-old, shut up." Which was followed up by Rufy Shields saying, 20, what? Did you have her when you were 4?
Okay, so this is a really... Cam, you're having way too much fun here. I think he's enjoying this live stream more than anybody else. So this is a very flattering light I have going on. I am 39 years old. So yes, I did have my daughter when I was quite young. I was pregnant at 18 and I had her when I just turned 19. But yeah, I do have a 20-year-old. However, yesterday, going completely off on a tangent, yesterday, Cam doesn't know this story, but he's about to find out. My daughter and I popped to Dunelm Mill to buy some fabric dye, and I got asked for ID. So that made my day. She wanted to know if I was over 25. So yeah, it's very flattering light. But thank you.
Question from Jill Paxton. What's the best glue for googly eyes on yarn?
Okay, so the best glue for yarn. Now my googly eyes are self-adhesive and they're really sticky. They're weirdly really sticky. I would suggest a Fabri-Tac glue. It's quite tricky to use, so I'm not sure. It depends on the size of your googly eyes, but any sort of fabric glue, Fabri-Tac acts almost like how a hot glue gun works, only it's cold, so there's that kind of stringiness. I'm describing this really badly. Fabri-Tac glue, you can get it online, or any sort of fabric glue is where you really want to go. Don't go down the super glue route because that might melt your yarn if you're using acrylic. But yeah, any sort of fabric glue, really.
A really astute, nuanced question from Sharon.
Okay.
Have you tidied the house? Lol.
Yes. Oh yes. Actually, do you know what? No, I haven't tidied. I've hidden. That's what I've done. So all my chaos, and I really want to say the word crap, it's all down the back of the sofa, so you can't see it. So yes, this is a lie. I would love to be this tidy at all times, but yeah, I've tidied and hidden all my stuff.
Question from Evie. Does your husband crochet as well?
Do you crochet as well, Cam?
No, I'm more of a muse than a active crocheter. That's probably the
he's just my muse. No, he doesn't crochet. I tried to teach him once, and he did a very, very long chain of just chains and then abandoned the project. And then about 6 months later, when I was unraveling these chains, he acted heartbroken as if I had destroyed his world. So I often ask him if he could crochet because it would really help me out with making samples and things. But yeah, he's just not that supportive. So no. Do I go into the bowl, or is the chat got that many questions that you just want to
Several people are all asking, which obviously it's not a question you commonly ask a lady, but how old are you?
I am 39 years old. I thought I answered that one earlier, but that's fine.
Sarah Keating asked, are you going to make a lotus flower semicircular shawl?
Okay, so confession time. When did the lotus flower come out? How long have we been married, Cam? 2 years? 3 years? Don't do that thing where I'm supposed to know. Just tell me, I can never remember.
3 years.
3 years. Okay, so 3 years the lotus flower's been out. About 2 months after the lotus flower first came out, people started asking for a semicircular version, and I started working on it. And I don't even know where I put it. So I could. Yes, I could. Yes, I did start. And realistically, it probably wouldn't be until next year anyway, even if I did. But it is definitely something I did start once upon a time, and I'm just, yeah, sorry. Did you say that was from Sarah?
I believe, sorry, I've scrolled down.
No, that's fine. Personal apologies to Sarah for not having done it.
What feels like a tongue twister to me, Crafty Chats Cafe,
yes,
has said, don't know about anyone else, but I would love to see a tutorial for an amigurumi with a single body piece, e.g. a doll with joined legs, if that makes sense. No one's ever been able to make it clear.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I'm trying to think. My wobbly pandas are kind of all in one piece with the legs and the arms. It is, we're going a bit, let's just have a quick amigurumi lesson really quickly. If I'm picturing what you mean, so you make your two little legs and then you join them, you make your body, then you've got the little arms and then you've got the head. I think where people come unstuck is when you've got the two little legs, when it comes to joining them around the top and getting that stitch count right, and you're often left with like little tiny holes that you have to sew up later. With arms, you can crochet them in as you go. So say I was coming around here, you then crochet it in as well. Okay, I'm deviating, but yes, that's something I can definitely do. Please don't think it's going to be immediate though, because I always say, yes, I'm going to do things, and then I forget that it goes clean out my mind, or I get distracted by something else. So yeah.
I'm just going through all of them indiscriminately. The next one on the way down is from Nathan07 Crochet, who said, can we see your hubby?
I don't know. Can they?
Say, Nathan, appreciate the man love. I'll appear probably near the end of the video as that short guest appearance.
Oh, you will you?
Well,
is this a Cameron takeover here?
Would love to know about your nails. Yeah, lovely. Do you use gel polish? Do you do your own manicure? That's from Lisa T.
Okay, manicure is a bit of a stretch. What I do is I have reasonably cheap nail varnish, just nail polish. It's not gel. It's just bog standard Rimmel 60 seconds. I'm looking at, I wish I had some here because I'm looking at it over there. It's very, very cheap nail varnish. The key to it is my top coat. So I have Sally Hansen Insta Dry top coat, which I will put a link to in the description box of this live chat once we're done. It is the best top coat and makes your nails go from looking average to professional. So I cheat with a top coat, basically. That's all there is to it. It's just cheap polish, a reasonably steady hand, and that's it. But you can see normally if they're not chipped, they're bright non-YouTube colors. So I tend to have to do neutrals for when I'm filming.
I have a question, again, forgive me for the pronunciation, but from Gina Latau. Can you please make a cat or a mouse? I would assume amigurumi from the message.
I'm so irritated that I hid all my stuff because I could have been picking these things. I don't know if this is what you're thinking, but I did start a little mouse, but like a very simple, I was going to do it as like a cat toy, tiny little, almost like a sugar mouse. God, this is what happens when I try to hide who I really am, and when I try to look tidy, it means I can't grab any of these things. But yes, at some point, yes. And that was Percy joining in. Percy enough, thank you. So yes. Oh, it looks like there's another question from the chat. I will get to the bowl, I promise.
Gracefully Unraveled asked, did you ever make your own sweaters? What was your favorite thing to crochet, and do you wear any of your makes? Okay, so sweaters, no, I have never made myself a sweater, although I did buy a pattern for a rainbow raglan sweater with full intent to make it about 6 weeks ago, and I haven't touched it since, other than looking at the pattern. I don't really deal with sizing very well, in all honesty. So that was going to be my first ever garment, following someone else's pattern. I've forgotten the other parts. What do I ever wear my makes? The only my goodness, the only makes I ever wear of my own are my shawls. I love a granny shawl, and I don't care if that makes me look like I'm 105. I really, really love granny shawls. And so any shawls that you ever see me making on my channel, I keep, and I'm wearing those myself. That's about it for garments. And sorry, I can't remember your
your middle question, and I think Cam's already moved on.
There's a couple of different people, so forgive me for forgetting your names, but they've all asked, is there any alternatives to using safety eyes or googly eyes? Somebody suggested, could they use felt?
Yes. Okay, so alternatives for safety eyes, you can use literally anything. Felt is a great one, just plain black felt circles. Or if you felt a bit more adventurous, French knots, you can do with yarn. They give quite a good effect. Or you can just straight out embroider them on with just little lines, like decreasing. See, hopefully you know what I mean. This is why a video is so much easier. I can edit out all my rambling in between. So you could even use button. You can use whatever you want. You don't have to use safety eyes or googly eyes or anything pre-done. Just go mad. It's your creation. Do what you want.
C Copes has asked, how do you make a pattern for crochet? Do you have to have a little? Do you have like a lot of inspiration or something? Sorry, the.
Okay, so how do I make a pattern? So if you're talking amigurumi, I have kind of a vision in my head of what I want and how you break that vision down into basic shapes. So my permade, for instance, has always been that was my biggest challenge, because I knew I wanted it to look like a cat lying on its back with the tail coming up. And you just break it down into sections. So it was like a ball for the head, a sort of that shape, and you just kind of break it down like that. If you are talking blankets or shawls, sometimes there will just be a classic stitch, which isn't really any pattern writing involved as such. If it's something like the lotus flower blanket, for instance, that was quite a test. That again, I knew I could see it in my brain how I wanted it to look, and it's a lot of trial and error if you're writing from scratch. So just be prepared to undo it, possibly even more than you are actually crocheting. So you're going to do a lot of frogging. But generally, when it comes to blankets and shawls, it's just classic stitches put together in sometimes not even original ways. So then most things have already been done. So it's quite a difficult question to answer. Hopefully I've answered it.
Good. Then a follow-up from Brat's mum. By the way, where is Steve? My cat is asking.
Okay, so Steve, that's a very good question. She is out at the moment. Is Steve out?
I believe she's in the garden.
Yeah, she might appear. If she appears, I'll see her appearing at the window, and then Cam can let her in. And then generally she sits on, I don't know if you can see her grotty blanket back here, but this is Steve's little grotty blanket where she usually sits.
So another question for Rishi Shields. What is your favourite yarn fibre to use, i.e. wool, cotton, or acrylic, etc.?
Okay, so I'm going to go straight up acrylic, purely because it's cheap, it's cheerful, and look at all the colours you can get. It's insane. I like acrylic. I know it's not very eco-friendly. Wool I'm not a massive fan of because I've got quite sensitive skin and it can make me a little bit itchy. And cotton, I do like cotton. I like the stitch definition you can get, but my wrists tend to find it quite hard work using cotton. So I don't use as much cotton as I'd like to, purely because of the effort. I don't know if anybody else finds that with cotton.
Sharon asks, I have some crochet hooks, but I want to buy one good one. What size and brand do you suggest?
Ooh, depends what you're making. The brand Clover, absolutely. The Clover are more hooks that look like this. Size-wise, pick the size you use the most. Quite frankly, that's what but I didn't go straight in buying a full set. I bought one at a time. I think I started with like a 4mm and a 6mm. Those are the ones I tend to personally use the most, but go with whatever hook size you find you're using the most, because these aren't cheap by any stretch of the imagination. So definitely the Clover hooks, and you can buy them one at a time. I think the full set is about £50, so that can be quite painful. Or ask for it for Christmas. Treat yourself at Christmas or birthday, or just because, frankly. But yeah, Clover hooks. Can I go back into the pot for a second?
You may dive into the
purely because I feel bad for all pot people that have been waiting 7 months.
I mean, it might die down as it goes. So
most people get bored of me.
Yeah, it's only because I was trying to stay relatively.
No, that's fine. If you want to keep going for the live chat, we can keep going for the live chat.
Well, to be fair, Franca Perotti's given me a shout out for pronouncing her name correctly. Apparently, not many English people can, so thank you for that.
See, you're just going to get an ego by the end of this.
More shouts for Steve. Unfortunately, we'll try and get Steve in shortly.
We actually have 3 other cats aside from Steve. But I don't know where any of them are. I think they're all of them are out.
Can you make a roast like a chicken? My mum loves them, and her birthday is coming up.
Can I make a what? Like a chicken?
It says roster.
Spell that for me.
R-O-S-T-E-R. It's not rooster. That's 2 O's.
Maybe it's rooster, like a rooster chicken.
Yeah.
Can I do a chicken? Yes, but it wouldn't be anytime soon. I would definitely, for something as specific as that, I'd advise having a quick look on Ravelry. Sorry, yes, Cam?
Slight deviation. A couple of people have said, or at least one, sorry, have asked if you can maybe make an amigurumi animal purse.
Amigurumi animal purse. There are a lot of suggestions coming through this. I needed to write this down. Yeah. Amigurumi animal purse. Okay, well, I need to get like little. Do you mean purse as in with the little popper thing that you put your money in, or do you mean purse like cute little handbag? All depends. Oh, sorry, I'm asking you that question. It's going to be a while before you can even answer. So.
Slightly different question from James Eisenberg. What made you want to do a YouTube channel?
So I never wanted to do a YouTube channel. It kind of happened by accident. I originally was planning on, so I used to make to sell at craft fairs. I got quite bad tennis elbow in both arms from crocheting too much, and it doesn't affect my elbows, it affects my wrists. So I was looking to move away from making to sell. So I started writing patterns. And generally, I had a few paid patterns, a couple of free patterns, and people kept asking me the same questions about the patterns. So I found that I was repeating myself via email or messaging all the time, the same answer, because it would be just one thing people were getting stuck on. So YouTube was a bit of an afterthought. I threw like a couple of videos up, and they're terrible. Please don't watch my earlier videos. My God, they're awful. I just put some videos out there purely so when people were messaging me with the same questions, I could just say, let me show you that. I don't know if that's the right sentiment as to why I started them, but that's the truth. I was just sick of answering the same question over and over, so it was easier to just show people. Then I did the lotus flower, and that was definitely a pattern that needed to be shown. That was my first one that I knew I'd have to do a video for in advance. We then got married and went off on honeymoon. And when I came back, I noticed that people had started watching the lotus flower, and more people were watching it and making it. And the whole thing was quite fascinating. So that sat there for about 6 months, and then I sort of went, oh, what if I maybe did something with this? And now we're here. So it was never an intentional path to go to YouTube. So I can see Cam just past the camera. He's looking a bit impatient, like he's got a question for me.
Questions. I just thought it's worth mentioning. You've had a lot of people give you very nice shout outs and thank you for doing your channels. Just what's worth
well, I hope they help. I never set out to be a YouTuber.
People from Portugal, Sweden, Denmark.
It's crazy. It blows my mind.
All over the US, from Alaska all the way down to Florida. So I thought it's worth giving them a shout out. You had a question from Shania saying, hi Robin, how do you identify new crochet stitches? I'm a beginner and I have a picture inspo. I have no idea what stitch it is. Any tips?
Oh, there's a question. Okay, so my best tip would be to just, I don't know. You kind of need to start with the real core basics when it comes to stitch identification. If you just practice a few, like the singles, the halves, the doubles, just get to recognize them. The more you do, you'll pick it up without intentionally learning it, if that makes sense. So if you make a few items, you'll start to automatically recognize the stitch based on what you've made. They all look quite distinctive most of the time. Depends how complex the motif is that you're looking at, but generally you can learn to sort of, I'm looking for crochet and I've tied it all away so I can show you. I can see some over there, but that's no good. So you'll pick it up. That's my only tip. That's a really useless rubbish tip, sorry. you'll learn over time to identify it, which isn't the best if you're trying to work it out now.
The next question from Cable, I want to read this one out because I just thought it was really well written. It said, hello Robin, I am 12 years old and would love to know if you knit. I crochet, but I also want to knit, and I think you're a good teacher, so I'd definitely try it if you made a video, which I thought was really sweet.
That is lovely. Okay, so can I knit? just. Am I any good at it? No. I probably will never teach knitting purely because I would feel like a bit of a fraud if I taught you how to knit, because I don't enjoy knitting. I wish I could knit, and for garments and things, I think knit can look beautiful, and I see all these patterns and I wish I could knit. I'm very jealous of people that can, but I am quite an impatient person and I find knitting very slow, and the fact I'm not automatically really good at it puts me off. I just expect I can do it because I can crochet, so why can't I knit? And yeah, it turns out I can't wield more than one tool at a time. I don't have coordination. I suck at knitting. Don't let that put you off learning though, because knitting is awesome, and I'm just jealous and bitter that I can't do it very well. So yes, so definitely try it, but I don't think I will be doing any knitting tutorials anytime soon. I'm sorry.
There's another good question. Someone who's clearly obviously keeps track of your channel, from Marshall Hurley.
Okay.
How did you feel when your bee went viral on TikTok? And did you know everyone was making your shawls for the Wings charity? And do you get excited to know your work is so popular? And I think you're amazing. Okay, so let me break that one down. My brain's trying to remember the two parts of that. There was TikTok bee, and my shawl's been made for the Wings charity. That I had no idea about. That is brand new news to me. I will have to look that up afterwards. I don't know. I hadn't seen that too. That's amazing. And if people are going to use my patterns for anything, that's the kind of thing I want them to be making stuff for, like for good causes or for gifts or for themselves, or yeah, that I didn't know about. The bee, that doesn't really, it's weird. So yeah, it blows my mind a bit, this bee thing. It's a bit mental. People know who I am because of that, and that just, I'm kind of a nobody, so that really messes with my head. That people, I see you trying to catch my eye there. Is that because I said I'm a nobody? So it messes with my head. I can't think about it for too long because I don't know. I am nobody special. So why 1.6 million people have watched it all because of TikTok is just, it's insane. It's insane. So yeah, I don't think that answers your question, but other than to say with the bee. You have a shout out from Francis Reyna in California, who's just saying hi, it's good to see you, from Exeter, California. I just wanted to mention it. Oh, because we have an Exeter here in Devon. Yes, I guess that's the only an hour away from us. The sister town in California, which we totally didn't see. There are so many English town names in America. So because we're a tiny country with nothing much going on, things like that excite us. Right, I'm going to stop him. I'm going into this pot, this pre-prepared pot, because there are a lot of questions in here, and I think there's some crochet and some non-crochet ones in here. So let's have a look. If I've already answered these questions on the stream, though, I will move on. Okay, so, oh, here's a good one. Oh, I wasn't being kind to myself when I printed these off. I clearly thought it'd be entertaining to give myself awkward questions. So Sarah Linfield on Facebook asked me 7 months ago, is there a stitch you haven't mastered yet, or that you have and detest? So, bit of a controversial question. Is there a stitch I haven't mastered yet? Yes, there are several things I haven't tried. Mosaic crochet, I haven't really done too much with that. That's a big one that pops immediately into my head. And I can never say it. Intarsia, like tapestry crochet, I've only ever lightly dabbled. That's something I feel like I haven't mastered. I absolutely haven't mastered that. Graph gans with the corner to corners that you put pictures in. I've never attempted one of those because I cannot face the thought of all those ends and bobbins, and definitely haven't mastered that. Is there a stitch that I detest? Detest is a pretty strong word, but there are stitches I don't particularly like. So corner to corner, for example, is probably one of those. I do like it. I have done it, and it is great for a quick make. But I don't really like corner to corner.
that bad? I'm going to be doing some corner to corner tutorials. And now I'm saying on live stream that I don't really like it. I'm going to teach you guys how to do it if you don't know how to do it. But personally, I don't really like corner to corner. So if that is controversial at all, I apologize. I tell you what I do like though, corner to corner granny stitch. That's a good one. But classic corner to corner just doesn't really float my boat. And I don't know why. All right, so I've been abandoned. I'm completely on my own here. So I'm going back into the yarn bowl and I'm going to pull out another question. And not panic that I'm completely on my own. I have no idea where Captain's gone. Oh, speak of the devil and he shall appear. All right, so Natura Fauna, how do you make new patterns and how would you write them down? So I kind of answered the how you make new patterns with the just picture it in your head and break it into shapes, which probably doesn't really answer that question. But how do you write them down? So how to write down a pattern if you've never written a pattern before, literally write it just longhand, like notes for yourself. So my personal notes to myself look nothing like the written patterns that make it to my blog. I literally just write down what you're doing in longhand if you want to, with however you want to write it down, and then you just compress it down. So you just shorten the amount of words that you have on the page and you use the abbreviations. So literally you just compress it down. But for actually when you go to write it down, write down in a way that you will remember what it is that you did when you go to replicate it, which is not something I've mastered yet, because I tend to have some weird hieroglyphs that I scroll down and I'm convinced I'm going to remember later down the line. And then I look at my notebooks and I haven't got a clue what past me was even talking about. So don't listen to my advice on that one. Write it longhand so that you can sort of remember what you did and then just compress it. Cam is back
really,
and he
really
looks
nice
like he's
comment you have from Susan Hudd. Says, hi, I'm 57 and I've tried to crochet for years and gave up. Then I came across your channel 6 months ago and I finally understand. Thank you so much.
Oh, see, that's nice. That's why I make videos, basically, is to, it sounds really cliche to say and just a bit tacky when the words come out of my mouth, but it's true. When people say things or write a comment saying I couldn't do this until the way you explained it made sense, great, that's what YouTube's for. There's so many great crocheters out there that have channels, and it's just finding that one person that makes sense to you. And that's why I'm always encouraging people to do YouTube as well. And I'm like, there's plenty of room on YouTube. There's room for all of us. Everyone should start a channel, because when you find that one person that says it in a way that you understand, that's all that matters. So I love that some people have found that I am that person, because I didn't think I was a very good teacher until people started telling me I was. I still don't think I am, but that's awesome. I love hearing things like that. And by all means, give me the negative stuff as well. That's fine. I'm not just here for the glory and the praise.
Some of the people on the channel give more information about the Wings charity.
Oh, the Wings charity, yes.
Helen D said Rose Loves Crochet on YouTube does the stuff for Wings, which is a domestic violence charity based in Chicago. Something different last month was shawls, and loads of people done your pattern. I think basically, someone else, Carla Young, is saying Rose Loves Crochet on YouTube showed many of your shawls in their wing donation.
Oh wow!
Done with your pattern. It totally makes you special, hon. You've touched the world. Yay for you.
That's amazing.
I love emoji your work and you rock. Yeah.
Okay, I will look that up later. Rose Loves Crochet, did you say?
Yeah, I mean, you'll be able to see it in the
yeah, I'll look back at the chat, but yeah, I'll make sure I go and find her and say thank you. I don't know, but yeah, that sort of stuff is great. I love that sort of stuff, like the Random Acts of Crochet Kindness. I love that stuff, and I don't know why, but I love that. And making stuff for people less fortunate or just because sounds so tacky, but it's genuine. I don't know how to sound genuine without sounding like I'm taking the mickey. I'm not.
You also had another comment that made me chuckle to myself a moment ago from Leah B. I feel kind of insulted sitting here listening to you saying you don't like corner to corner while crocheting my corner to corner blanket.
I know,
laughing face emoji.
That's why I thought I knew past me was being particularly evil. Yeah, I don't know what it is about corner to corner. I don't know why, because people love them. And I have made corner to corner blankets in the past, and they are quick and I don't know what it is about it, but if you ask me to make a blanket for myself, it would not be corner to corner, and I don't know why. And I know I've offended probably 300,000 people out there.
Can I also say, well spotted to gracefully unraveled for noticing that you were drinking out of an auto refilling a glass of prosecco.
Yes, it's magic.
This is how to shot.
Yeah, it's magic.
I've got either saw my shadow or kept the man.
I know. I told you are master of ceremonies this evening, and that involves keeping me lubricated with alcohol. Right, I'm going back in the pots. Unless there is...
No, dive away.
Right, I'm going in. I think, actually, gracefully unraveled, I think I have one of your questions in here. I think it was quite a big one. Oh, found a little skinny one, okay. Lorna Tanner on Facebook asked me, where is your favourite place to crochet when not doing tutorials on camera? Right here, where I am right now, on my sofa. Normally, mountains of rubbish surrounding me, yarn everywhere, as Cam will attest to, because we've got quite a big 3-seater sofa here, and that's a seat for me, my yarn, and then he gets squashed right at the very end where he belongs. So it's me and the yarn basically here on the sofa, and I've got all my like pots of hooks and things just off the side here, all sorts of nonsense around me. So here is the answer to that. Oh, Cam looks like he might have a question, or if not, I'm poised.
Somebody, sorry, I'm trying to find it, can't find the name, asked, what could you crochet the animal over your shoulder, but that may cause some rights issues with Disney.
This little friend.
Yes, because he's adorable. Okay,
so I can recommend a pattern, and of course it's gone clean out of my head. I made a little Grogu, Amigurumi Grogu, following a pattern I bought on Ravelry. And hold the line. I'll look it up because it's actually a really good pattern. Let me see if I can find it. If I can't find it within 30 seconds. Right? Yeah, I just wanted to have a quick look. Let me have a look at my Instagram whilst you just go through the questions 1 second. It's bugging me. I can't remember her name.
I can answer 2 of them in the meantime. So someone asked, what's your husband's name? And I can answer that one. It's Cameron. That's me. And someone said, where do you do your cream tea videos? Which I liked the fact that that much of a fan that they clearly know about cream tea.
Okay, before we the cream tea, so I don't even know if this is going to show up on camera for the Grogu pattern, but I don't know how her name's broken down. I think it's There's a Crochet Shop. Hopefully that's picked up there. That's where I got the pattern for. Little version of him, very, very good. She's on Etsy and Facebook and all sorts. But if you find my Facebook or my Instagram and then look for my picture of little Grogu, I've tagged her in that. So yes. Cream tea, right? Cam asked me a question about cream tea. Where do I film my cream tea? When I was doing my live streams for cream tea, where I was like this big in the corner hiding from everybody, that was actually filmed in my daughter's bedroom after she moved out. So she moved out last summer, ahead of going to university this autumn. She's now moved back home and booted me unceremoniously out of her bedroom, which I think is quite rude, quite frankly, because she chose to leave and then she came back and removed me. So that's why there hasn't been too much cream tea action, because I haven't actually got anywhere where I can film or live stream now. So because it was in her room, but she's off to uni in September. So once she's gone, we'll move back into her room.
You've had a couple of great questions. I feel like I have to ask.
Okay, go on.
RLO said, I love that your voice reminds me of Yvette Fielding, which is so comforting. Like I'm back in the 80s watching Blue Peter. Smiley face emoji.
Or I'm on Most Haunted. Is it because I keep screaming? Sorry, I'm just shifting because I've been sitting cross-legged and my feet have got pins and needles in them because I'm too heavy for my own feet. Hopefully I'm still in shot now. I've shifted around a little bit. That'll be on Cam to tell me and he's not looking.
Oh, you're in shot. That's good.
All right. So Yvette Fielding, I haven't heard that one before. I don't think I sound like Yvette Fielding, do I?
Carolina says, do you teach how to read patterns? I can only follow videos. Monkey covering its eyes emoji.
Okay. So for reading patterns, I don't have a specific video on it or anything, but what worked for me, because I first learned how to crochet using YouTube. Nobody taught me. I followed a video, exactly the same. The best way to learn how to read a crochet pattern is, for instance, I've got a few written patterns on my blog. If you look at the pattern as you're like following the video. So watch a bit of the video and then read that corresponding bit of the pattern. That you'll get into the sort of flow. You'll recognize the abbreviations, or you can always write it out in longhand for yourself. So do the reverse of if you're writing your own where you shorten it, you can, write it out longhand. I think you'll find that if you follow videos, a lot of people tell themselves they can't read written patterns, and you'll surprise yourself if you just looked at a written pattern that actually you understand more than you think you do. I find that quite a lot, that people just need a bit more faith in themselves. You absolutely can read a written pattern. It's just if you struggle with the abbreviations, make them longer, or if there is a video written pattern combination, if you kind of look at the both, it sort of demystifies it a little bit. Charts are a different story. Charts aren't as easy, but for just going in for written patterns, I reckon you can do it. So totally up to you.
A couple of good questions.
Okay. Let me put this one on the side here. I'll put it back in the
Sorry.
box.
How do you start when you was a beginner? And that's from Shana Sherko.
How do I what? Sorry.
How do you start when you're a beginner? So I'm guessing if you're a total newbie to crochet.
Okay. How do you start? Well, I think how I started was a bit of a gung-ho attitude and no fear of failure, because the beauty of crochet is, this is where knitting differs, because knitting, if you mess up, you've got to undo an entire row, but crochet is one stitch at a time. And if you mess up one stitch, you only undo that one stitch and it really doesn't matter. Now, I don't know if you can see from here. Is he up there? Can you see? Can you, Cam, on the camera, can you see your ATST up there?
So to let people know, in the top corner to the left of the H in Hooked by Robin. Yeah, so where from the ATST?
Yeah, so in there is my very first Amigurumi.
What behind?
Yeah, if you want to grab him, you can. He's terrible. Okay. No, Cam doesn't want to come on camera. That's what it is. Too shy. He's too shy. So that's my very first Amigurumi up there, and my very first blanket as well. My Minecraft creepy face blanket. It's really bad. Really, really bad. My blanket has fallen apart because I didn't weave in my ends. I just cut them. I didn't know what I was doing. I just assumed, I watched one video and just assumed I was an expert. So nothing much has changed there. But that blanket, I was so proud of that blanket. It looked amazing. And I was super proud of myself. Now I look at it and go, wow, it's like a 3-year-old made it. But same with my very first Amigurumi over there. He's shocking, but I've kept him because he was my first. So I think if you are a total beginner, literally just give it a whirl. Don't worry about whether it's going to look any good, because it won't. It will look rubbish. Your first crochet pieces will look rubbish, but you will still be proud of them and keep them so you can see how far you've come. One day I will get that creeper blanket out, because I've actually got it in the cupboard, purely because it was falling apart. One day I will get both my first blanket and my first Amigurumi on camera so you can see how awful it really is. And but it doesn't matter. So if you're a beginner, just go for it. That's my only advice. What's the worst that can happen? That's it.
I am enjoying some of the debates about do you sound like Yvette Fielding in the comments.
Do I? I don't think I do.
I think if you're going to do a community vote post next, that should be.
You know, I could do a poll in the chat. That's an option.
That should
if we hadn't had that little tech fail, we could have put that in as a poll.
I know the Americans probably like you as Yvette Fielding.
I know. Yvette Fielding, hasn't she got, we're going off tangent here, hasn't she got like a northern accent, like a bit of a twang? Hasn't she? Maybe. I can't picture her voice. I can't remember her. Is it just the Blue Peter vibe I'm giving off? Is that what it is? I can go back to my bowl of questions because I got a lot in here. All right, I'm just going to bypass Cam, and I've got one here. Okay, Amy Harding on Instagram had asked me 7 months ago, how often does your cat run off with your yarn? Because my cat does it all the time. So actually, in fairness, we've got 4 cats, and none of them, I think Cam's got to go see if he can find Steve, none of them touch my yarn. They're pretty good. Actually, that's a lie. So Tyrion will attack yarn if it's left on the floor and he's in a stupid mood. But as to playing with my yarn, they tend to leave it alone. Very, very occasionally they might bat, but that's like a lazy thing. They don't really mess with my yarn. When they were all kittens, though, that's a different story. Oh, Steve has arrived. they all sort of would suck it into it. But now as adults, they're pretty good. Hi, Steve. Hey, Steve. All right, whilst Cam is cajoling Steve, let's find another question out of the bowl. All right, so Jane on Facebook said, do you love a good challenge and go looking for projects that push your limits? Yes, I do love a good challenge. I like, well, I tell you what I like solving something that people, when someone says it can't be done, that's when I like to go, hang on a second. Cam, can you not just throw things for Steve? She'll come up when she's ready. He's trying to lure Steve onto the sofa by just throwing foil at me. So I like a challenge in that if someone says it can't be done, like my lotus flower, it's only because one person said, when I asked people why do they do round blankets, and if not, why not? Someone said, I don't do round blankets because they never lie flat. And that one line made me go, oh, okay, challenge accepted. So yes, Jane on Facebook, hopefully you're watching now, 7 months later, I do love a good challenge. I don't always solve the challenge, but I do love them.
Just need to clarify to Sharon, who asked if you're using your telephone voice. So just like to clarify, Robin doesn't have a telephone voice.
I do have a telephone voice.
It's always a little bit Downton Abbey in the south of Robin.
Okay, so I do have a telephone voice. I think because I'm slightly anxious at the moment, this might be a bit of telephone voice. I don't know, because I'm slightly anxious. For YouTube, I definitely have a YouTube voice. I'm definitely more up than I am, as Cam will probably attest. I'm not this chirpy in real life, quite a grumpy, miserable git. Do I have a telephone voice? If I'm complaining about something, then yes. But no, this is kind of my voice. I don't know, Cam, is this my voice? You'd know better than me. I sound the same in my head at all times. Is this my normal voice?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Then no, yes. I've forgotten the question. More alcohol. Cam, do you have a question for live chat, or shall I go back to my magical yarn?
This one has been asked a couple of times now from Debbie Diaz. When will we get to see the tutorial for the fuzzy wuzzy round ball guy?
For the Worry Blob. Okay, great Debbie, name. I knew you'd come for me on this one. So I was going to film him. Debbie knows this. I don't know if many people know this, but I have recently taken on a new filming studio. So up until very recently, I filmed everything here at home. And since my daughter's moved back home, my husband might be starting to work remotely from home. And I've got some really noisy neighbours just at the end of my garden. School holidays are approaching and their kids are always screaming in the garden. So it was becoming more difficult to film tutorials at home, just from a noise perspective. So I've taken on little office studio for filming. I'm struggling with there at the moment. So I was going to film the Worry Blob. It hasn't happened. So I've done the written pattern, which I think I linked to you earlier on Facebook. I've done the written pattern. If enough people ask me for the Worry Blob over the next month or so, I might look at filming him in the autumn. This is my sort of time where I now stop uploading for a little bit and just recharge. So this live stream will probably be the last you hear of me until the end of August, beginning of September, from a YouTube point of view. Probably should have said that right at the beginning and not, well deep into the live stream.
Couple of quick ones. Rosamund May said, I see Totoro, and very good spot, Totoro and Chibi Totoro.
Yeah, little Chibi Totoro's within.
Kelly Hart said, how do you spell Rogu? And very close, there's just a G in front of it. It's G-R-O-G-U. So felt like I needed to learn that.
My husband, I don't know what you can see back there, but my husband is a massive Star Wars fan.
Original.
This is his Grogu. Yeah. So if you have any Star Wars related questions, feel free to put them in the chat, because
the original films only, though.
My very nerdy husband will know the answers. Oh, and the Mandalorian, yes, and the Mandalorian.
Somebody else said, will you be doing a new short or wrap soon? And that is from Patsy Crochet.
Okay, Patsy. So yes, again, probably not. This is going to be my default answer. Probably not till the autumn, but I do have a wrap. Technically, I could give you a sneak preview if you want to see. Cam, it would involve Cam getting up. You see over there on the side, underneath my popcorn flower blanket. Careful, because there's it's still attached to the yarn, so you're gonna have to bring it in if you can. Get a little sneak preview of what is coming.
Over to Vet Fielding on Blue Peter.
Not Vet Fielding. This is a bit Blue Peter. So I do have this, which is something I'm working on at the moment, which is going to be a wrap. Now, a proper rectangular wrap. Don't think I've got a proper rectangular wrap at the moment, but this is kind of a sneak preview for you. It's very simple in the body, but it will have this pretty. So am I showing this on camera? I don't know if you can even see it on camera. So this, I just need to.
I'll just say it's slightly brighter in real life, though. The
is it looking a bit muted?
It takes a little bit. It will look better when you photograph it properly, but it looks a little bit.
Is it better if I hold it further away?
No, it's slightly.
Is it looking a bit rubbish on camera?
No, it just looks slightly duller than it does in real life.
Okay, mind you, the light's changing. The sun's setting behind, so the light's it's probably going to get quite dark in here very soon. But yeah, so yes, I will have a rectangular wrap, a very simple one, which is good for variegated yarns. It's a bit fancy at the bottom and the other end, but I just haven't quite got that far yet. So yes, there will be a wrap. Also, yes to a shawl. I've got a fantail shell stitch shawl. It's not a, that one I know I've got because I already filmed that one. I just haven't edited it yet. It's not like a proper triangle. It's like an elongated triangle. What's that shape? There's just called a different, hopefully you know what I mean. Cam's looking at me blank. He has no idea about triangles.
Your hand examples aren't the easiest to follow.
So you know, like a normal granny triangle is like a proper traditional triangle.
Yeah.
My shell shawl is like a stretched, thin, long
triangle.
Yes, but it's got a different type of
triangle.
There will be someone in the chat backing me up right now, I hope, to say yes, that it's got a special type, like an obtuse type triangle thing.
A couple of quick ones from Kelly Hart is, I love your accent, and where are you from?
I am from Devon in the UK. It's like in the southwest corner. We're in the like pretty bit. Mind you, a lot of the UK is pretty, but I'm biased. So yes, I don't have a Devonian accent though. That you might pick that up from my husband, who sounds a little bit like a pirate or a farmer. That's the Devonian accent. My family are originally from London. I'm born and bred here in Devon, but obviously was taught how to speak by my London. And if you're from Devon, it's a bit of a no-no that you're a blow-in, I think they call it. Blow-in.
Not local is your term for you.
Even though I was born and bred here.
Ish.
My very Devonian husband does not count me as local. Devon. So that's why I sound like I'm married to a farmer.
Becca Mitchell said, can you please tell Robin she is amazing and her hair is beautiful too?
Thank you. Thank you for the comments on the hair. I'm not sold on the hair at the moment. I feel like it's a bit too dark, and I don't think the green, it's a lot of green in it. It's not showing up on camera. It just looks blue.
Pretty much the bottom few inches of all of your hair is like a peacock green, which doesn't translate.
And my fringe is green too, but I don't know why it's not showing up. Like the webcam seems to think it's all blue. But yes, thank you. I wasn't really sold on. It's a bit darker than I usually get.
Trapezoid. This is the triangle.
Trapezoid. See, I knew it. I knew you guys would get. Yeah. You got my back, even if my own husband looks at me like I'm mental. Right, Cam, I'm going into the bowl. I have no idea what time it is either.
So this comment's great. Wow, you're my favorite channel, just the best teacher. This now comes as a surprise, as I imagined you looked like Michelle Hussein on BBC, and you live in a huge house in America. American flag, laughing, crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji.
I mean, we could.
Pamela Moo, great comment.
We could arrange that. What do you reckon? I could string it up over the yarn. That's amazing. Do you know, the people, because I've never really shown my face ever anywhere, other than with Little John. She was the one who popped my live streaming cherry back in April. She is the reason we are here now doing this. So if you don't follow her and subscribe to her already on YouTube, you absolutely should, because she's awesome. I have linked to her already. It's in the description box below this live stream. But it was when I spoke to her, it was fascinating the what's the word I'm looking for? Preconception of how I would look versus then I rocked up. I'm this chaotic blue-haired weirdo kind of turned up, and I always hear from people how they think I'm going to look. It's nothing like how I am. So I think that's just because all I've ever shown you for 2 or 3 years is a lie in having nice, neat fingernails, which also then they're never nice and neat. They are tonight, but that's because I painted them specially for you. But other than that, I normally have got terrible looking nails and I'm just a scruff bag, really. So I think that's what surprises people. Have you got another question?
Questions keep coming, but
okay, all right. I've got one in my hand. Let's have a look. I might have already asked Sarah Elizabeth, what made you want to start crocheting? Okay, I covered that one already earlier in the stream. Let's grab. Oh, I've picked up two. It's like doing the bingo or something in here, a raffle. Oh, this is a good question. Pauline Ann. Oh, I don't know if I can pronounce this. Quilino. Are there any advantages or disadvantages in crocheting? Okay, so advantages to crocheting is the speed. Absolutely the speed of crocheting. You can get things done way faster than obviously comparing it to knitting. The disadvantages in crochet, I think it uses a bit more yarn than knitting, but you know, that's not a problem because I got a lot of yarn to get through. But I personally feel that garments, I know you can crochet garments and they do look cool and you can crochet things like socks and stuff, but I just kind of feel like knitting can suit some things better than crochet. So for toys, for instance, I may be biased because I love Amigurumi, but I think crochet toys look better and maybe knitted garments look better. Am I throwing out more controversial stuff into the chat? Am I? This is the next I don't like corner to corner comment for how many people can I offend now? But that's, yeah, advantages and disadvantages. I can't really think of any other advantages or disadvantages to crochet. I'll tell you a massive disadvantage actually, repetitive strain injury, which I have because of crochet. And I've got another one because I put out two by mistake. Ryan Smith on YouTube asked, how long does it take you to make a project if you're not filming it? Forever. Forever, for two reasons. I'm quite a slow crocheter in the grand scheme of things. I see other people crocheting so much faster than me. So I'm slow and I have a very, very low boredom threshold. So I will go all in on the start of a project. I love the start of a project and I get really excited and I crochet loads. This wrap is the I showed earlier is a perfect example because I started doing that in February and I haven't touched it for about 3.5 months now. It's just been sat waiting for me because that finishing of a project for me, it's like pulling teeth. It's very rare I actually finish something properly. So Ryan, how long does it take me to make a project? Forever. Forever.
Another one from Debbie Diaz. What's the last thing you yarn bombed?
What was the last thing I yarn bombed?
Up the road.
Up the. Oh yes, I replaced the. Oh, see, it's good you're here, Cam.
Yep.
I replaced. So last year I yarn bombed the care home that's just up the road. I'd forgotten I'd done that actually, Cam. Recently, when was that? A couple of months ago? No, 6 weeks ago.
Maybe just after a month.
Yeah. Their garland, bless them, they still had this really sad and tatty looking. It had been up there for a year. It was faded. It was just grotty. So I went up and I cut it all down and I made them a new garland and I've replaced it. So I just went up and I took down their old one, put up the new one, and I think I did the lamppost as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, I haven't actually done any this year. I kind of miss it. I enjoyed doing the yarn bombing last year.
There'll be a spell, just not quite yet.
Yeah, maybe now I'm going to be taking a little break from filming and uploading and things. Maybe there'll be time to do a couple of yarn bombs. Maybe. Somebody
did ask what's the time where we are, but obviously we're in England, so we're on British summertime.
What time is it? It is blimey. It is 2 minutes past 9 at night. So yeah. Also, can I just say, Sharon, who may have been the Sharon who asked me in the chat, my friend Sharon has sent me a Facebook message. She says, I'm totally using my telephone voice because I haven't dropped an F-bomb once. So Sharon, that's practice, but not. So she knows me in real life, and anyone who knows me in real life will know that I curse like a drunk sailor. So the fact I so far have managed to keep a lid on that is skills, is what that is. But yeah, normally I've got a terrible potty mouth. So That might actually have been Sharon earlier in the chat, just baiting us. I've just spotted it on my Facebook Messenger.
I assume this question's for you from Ayana. What's your favourite Star Wars movie?
Cam, it might be a question for you.
No, I think your answer would be more interesting.
What's my favourite? Oh.
Yeah.
What's my favourite Star Wars movie? Okay, so I don't like any of the new ones. The new ones that are the prequel ones with the Jar Jar Binks. No, forget it. I like the old ones.
Out of the original three,
out of the original three, which would I say? Well, I like what's the one with the Ewoks in it? Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi. However, with regards to the new films, I quite liked Rogue One. I quite enjoyed Rogue One, even though my husband hasn't really liked.
Rogue One I enjoyed. I did not like the other three.
Let's not get him started on any of the remakes other than the original three.
There's not enough time to cover my...
Yeah, that's a live stream on its own for Cameron Rants. I'm ready. I've got a bowl full of questions here.
Rebecca Hawkins says, hi Robin, Rebecca from Canada here. You keep saying you love Amigurumi, which I do too, but you don't do too much of it on your channel.
Yeah.
How come?
Okay, so I wish I could do more. I'm not going to lie, Amigurumi is an absolute nightmare to film. It's a nightmare to film, it's a nightmare to edit, and the videos are very, very long. So it's very difficult. They're really weirdly time consuming. So when I, right back before I did my YouTube channel, when I was doing patterns, it was always Amigurumi, because I personally love Amigurumi. It was always the written patterns is one thing, but filming it, I can have just for what ends up being a, say, half an hour, 40-minute long video, that's about 7 hours of raw footage, because I have to film every single step. And something that would only take me, say, 2 or 3 hours to make, the minute I have to explain vocally on film what I'm doing, it's time. I wish I was better at editing and to be able to speed all that up, but yeah, it's only time. I do love Amigurumi, and I don't have nearly enough on my channel. Yeah, I'd like to rectify that at some point. So Cam looks like he's got a question
from Mary H99, and I know you know the answer to this one off the top of your head. So just a quick one. How many works in progress do you currently have going on right now?
How many works in progress do I currently have going on? So I know why you picked that one, Cam. Cam, let's ask you, Cam. How many works in progress do you think I have?
How long is a piece of string?
Well, yards. How many? Just off the top of your head, how many do you think I've got? Bearing in mind I've got a film studio where I've hidden a lot of things.
More than 10.
Easily more than 10. I can count just from where I'm sitting. We got 1, 2, and if 3. If I peer over the sofa where I've hidden a lot of things. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Some of these are never ever going to see the light of day either. I'd say conservatively, I've probably got at least 20 to 25 works in progress at any one time. And then the age of them gets longer.
You've had a shout out from Flossie, who's watching you currently from Nairobi in Kenya.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I've been to Kenya, not Nairobi though.
Also, Franca Perotti got the best Star Wars film correct, Empire Strikes Back. So congratulations, Franca.
Is she your new favourite by any chance, Cam?
I don't want to keep asking Star Wars questions. Let me keep going.
No, go on. You can have one more Star Wars question.
What is your favourite Star Wars character?
Favorite Star Wars character? Ooh, who asked that? Is that you? Are you asking questions?
Kelly Hart again.
Who's my favorite Star Wars character? Well, I'm not being funny, but look at him. How can you not love Grogu? But I feel like that's the easy answer. One of my actual favorite characters would be, I'm quite a fan of Jabba the Hutt. I quite like him. It's so gross and abhorrent, but I kind of love him for that. Boba Fett, I also am a Boba Fett fan.
Deanna Walker follows up with, does Mando count as Star Wars?
Well, he's just hot though, isn't he?
Yes, he does. So yes, you're
absolutely
also
does.
correct. Yeah, you win.
And he's hot. So if we're going for the actor under the helmet, then yeah, Mando. Hello. We're getting completely off topic. Cam, I have a quick question. It has got very dark outside. Yes. How is the lighting?
It's all good. It looks fine.
All right. I've got my yarn bowl of questions here. I think Cam's just scrolling through Star Wars.
No.
Ginger Peterson asked, what is my accent? Where are we from? We covered that one. UK, Devon. Got another. Cam's laughing to himself. Are you guys just chatting with Cam? Cam, what's making you laugh?
Ayana Flora wrote, it's over Anakin, I have the high ground. That's always on the prequels meme subreddit, so it made me laugh.
Cam, you're such a nerd. You're such a nerd. Okay, Claire28 on Instagram asked me, do I have any favorite books? Other than, I'm guessing, like Stitch books. Do I have any favorite books? I have a lot of books. Don't really have much time to read them these days, but I do like Philip Pullman trilogy. I used to love Stephen King when I was a teenager. What have I got over there? Cam, what's your favorite book? I've got a lot of books.
This is about you, Robin. This is about you.
I know, I'm just trying to pad for time. I'm not sure I can answer that.
I just was worth clarifying that in the chat, Bubbles Go Pop is in fact Robin's daughter, and she is hiding in plain sight to a degree. So I just thought.
What's she saying in chat?
To be fair, she did actually
is she dropping me in it?
a minute ago that Mum is not the person to ask the question. She cannot finish anything. So clearly your work in progress.
Talking about the work in progress. Well, I'm getting called out there by my own daughter in the live chat. Yeah, I can't finish anything. That's like my major weakness. Oh, I've got a question here from Natalie Stanjevensky. What do you do with all the little samples you crochet during the video? Cam can probably answer this. Cam, what do I do with all my little samples that I crochet for my films, my like tutorials?
You put them into a massive shipping container.
I just stack them up and put them in the cupboard. We are reaching shipping container sort of levels. Yeah, I don't really do anything with them, but I do keep them. One day I picture this in my head, amazing blanket with all these different stitches and all, but that's never going to happen. That's my brain thinks it's going to happen, but the reality is it's never going to happen. Cam, you all right? You reading about Star Wars over there?
Up. Perhaps is trying to help out in the chat as well. So.
Oh, is she? Does she need moderator powers?
She's chipping in. She's been good.
Okay, thank you, Pepper. Right, I've got another one. Snowcat 2015 asked, how do you come up with crochet patterns, especially amigurumi ones? How do I come up with them? I don't know. They're just like in my brain hole. I don't know. How
Incredible thoughts, isn't it? If you were.
If anyone's seen Lonely Island, you will get the reference there. How do I come up with them? I don't know. It's just stuff in my brain. I don't know how to answer that. That's really, yeah, I don't know how to answer some of these questions. Oh, Cam looks like he's poised, ready with a question. Because it's getting darker, I now can only see him as a silhouette, so I can't read his facial expressions.
That's where we like it. What's your favorite crochet piece you've ever done? And that is from Purple Panda Plays.
Favorite crochet piece I've ever done? Well, I think for starters, it has to be something I've finished. That narrows the field massively. I think my Permaid, because that was a real challenge, and I've got a real soft spot for my Permaid. So my Amigurumi Permaid is what I'd say definitely my favorite. I got a question here from Denise Taylor. Have you ever shown your face? No. Why not? Because I have a face for radio. And will you? Yes. Now. And she then went on to say, don't be shy. I'm sure you haven't got two noses. Well, hopefully I can now confirm I don't have two noses, but this is why I don't show my face, because I'm chaos.
In perfect tandem with that, a comment from Vicky Barr. I love that you took the hide your crap, but then you told us about it. You're so real and I adore it. Your work's amazing and you're pretty inspirational and such a great teacher. Keep it up.
Next time I'll have all my crap on show for you all, and then you'll all just be horrified, because this is part of the problem. I think there's a certain level of expectation that I'm going to be neat and ordered, and that my yarn is all neat and ordered, and that's not me as a human being. So I kind of feel like I have to hide it a little bit, otherwise people will be appalled, absolutely appalled.
Debbie's also asked if you could post a link to the Random Acts of Crochet Kindness group as well. Which
yes, I'll pop that one in as well. Also, Debbie, this is going super niche and specific. Debbie, I saw your comment earlier. I saw it earlier today in the Random Acts of Crochet Kindness Facebook group, where you said you're a bit sick of the worry worms, and I feel I have to apologize for that, because I can't help but feel slightly responsible. I did not intend for the worry worm video to explode like it did. So I can only apologize for how many people have gone on to make them off the back of my video. Sorry. Cam, I can hear Percy whinging, by the way. I think Percy needs a wee.
I'm just going to deal with the dog. But
yeah, the dog
before I
needs a
go,
wee.
question from Nelly Hedrick was: you said you make your own underwear. Is it crocheted? Question mark.
I said I made my own underwear.
Apparently so.
Did I? When did I say that?
I missed that when I got Steve.
Did I say that? If I said that, then I did not mean I made my own underwear. What an amazing thing if I did, though. No, I don't make my own underwear. Did I say that? I have no recollection of what I say. This is why I'm better on pre-recorded video, because I can edit out when I say things like I make my own underwear. So no, I hate to disappoint, but no, I don't make my own underwear. So now I am left completely alone. It's just you and me. I've got more of these questions. Let's have a look. All right, so Brittany Con asked me, how long before it took you to start seeing success in your crochet business on YouTube? Interesting question. I do like these YouTube related questions because I'm weirdly quite passionate about YouTube. So how long did it take before I started seeing success? On YouTube in particular, it took me 2.5 years, I would say. I've been going for I've been probably putting in effort for about 2 years now, but my channel's been around a little bit longer. There's some videos that are sort of maybe 3.5 years old now, I think. But I think I've only properly been trying this YouTube thing for about 2 years. I've only really started seeing success as such in the last 8 months or so. So YouTube's hard work. YouTube is not as easy as I thought it would be. I had this preconception that you just faff around a bit, you make a video, you release it, you become, you get loads of views, get loads of money, and it's wonderful. The opposite is how it actually is. YouTube is a really long, hard grind. If anybody makes it on YouTube, then they have put in so many hours of work. You don't have a clue until you start doing it quite what is involved in YouTube. Everything down to writing titles and descriptions and the filming and the editing and making a thumbnail. You have to master all these different aspects of, it's not just crocheting. I wish it was just casually crocheting and the odd live stream like this and then I'm a millionaire. No. So I would say it took me a good 2.5 years of hard work to get any sort of traction on YouTube. And the last sort of 8 months or so have started paying off a bit. I think, is that fair, Cam? Cam's back in the room now. Would you say that's fair? About 2.5 years before anything started really happening on YouTube at all? Like deemed success? I don't know. What do you call success? I don't know what success is.
That's a personal metric, though, isn't it? It's what you individually deem as success, right?
I don't know. Anyway, right. Whilst you're catching up there, was Percy okay, by the way? Did he just need to leave?
Fine.
All right. So.
Oh, good comment here from Kaniki Nico. I tend to get startitis where I get very excited to start a project and figure out the pattern, but then I get burnt out really fast on the repetition. How do you beat this ?
I don't know. If anybody knows how, then let me know, because I am exactly the same. I'm exactly the same. Oh my God, finishing is just painful, really painful. Yeah, I am 100% the same, so I can't give you any advice because I don't know. Cam, do you have any advice? What would be you don't have that problem? You don't crochet?
No, I don't get startitis, and do I?
No, I think you're either one camp or the other. A lot of people sort of are quite magical to me because they have one work in progress at a time and they don't start anything new until they have finished that one thing. And how I wish I was like that, but yeah, all the time. I've got a question here, Cam, before you got excited about seeing someone just like me in the chat asking the question. Someone asked me, Amina Yusuf said, not crochet related, but how did you get such lovely hands? I just don't do anything. I just abuse them. and then I paint my nails before I film, so people think I've got lovely hands, but I haven't. My nails underneath the nail varnish are actually terrible. They're very peely, brittle, and they split quite badly. So I don't have lovely hands at all. Cam, you now literally are a dark silhouette back there. So right, I'm pulling out another question because I think Cam is just catching up with the chat. Stacey Ponce asked, any tips or tricks for creating one's own pattern? Don't know. I think I've covered most of that, really. Tips or tricks for creating your own pattern? I don't know. Just have it in your brain. I don't know. Picture it before you start. If you've got a clear picture of kind of what you want, but don't be too static, because sometimes you have a picture and it turns out nothing like that, and yet the other thing you made actually is pretty cool. So that's terrible advice from me there, Stacey. I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that. Do you have any questions, Cam? Or
no, probably give a shout out to Snufflebean, who appears to have super chatted you or just donated 99p. So
she sent a sticker. So it's
yes,
super sticker
of a poo emoji.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Laurelyn. And for that, what was it, 99p? You get a shout out. So I can thoroughly recommend Snufflebean yarn for all your online shopping needs. See, she bought 10 seconds of advertising from me there. Although, in fairness, she is where I get 95% of my yarn from. And if you are looking to support a tiny, small, independent yarn shop, then Laurelyn is a great place to shop. I know she could really do with the help right now, and it will give her a nice little boost. So definitely shop at Snufflebean Yarn. I'll leave the link to that as well after the live stream in the description box. Anything else, Cam, or can I?
Questions. I can only see 10 minutes back on the chat on my phone, so the questions in the last 10 minutes have dropped. So if you want to continue.
No, that's fine. What time is it? I don't know where I've got my phone.
It is 20 past 9.
All right, I say, what do you reckon? Another 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, that's cute. I mean, there's not many questions left in the bowl, is there? So.
There's a lot of questions. Okay, Denise Thomas asked me, do I do my own nails? Which I think I answered really early on. Yes, cheap polish and a good top coat is all that is. That's what I got. This looks like it's quite a beast. Okay. Marshall Hurley, how does it feel to be so popular, knowing people who know nothing about crochet or amigurumi still know who you are because everyone and their grandmother has made a TikTok of themselves making your bee? Yeah, I think I answered that one earlier as well, didn't I? With the how does it feel? Weird. Very, 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 very weird. Let's see if I've got what else. Let's plow through my yarn bowl. Okay, Chewy Tron asked me, now this was 7 months ago, so the date says 2020, but I think it still applies. Do you think that starting a YouTube craft channel in 2020 would be worth it? 100% yes. There is room for everyone on YouTube. I say absolutely go for it. It's hard work to get that initial oomph going, but yes, everybody should start a YouTube channel, definitely. Share what you're passionate about. Yes, Cam.
A question again from Mary H99, who obviously asked the fantastic whip question earlier. Any plans for any Animal Crossing amigurumis?
I keep meaning to, and then I keep, like, my brain moves on again. I really would like to do that. I think that, here's the other thing. I was looking at Animal Crossing patterns just a week or so ago. Huh?
Axel, of course. Clearly be the one people.
No, Cam. If anyone doesn't know, Axel is a blue elephant in Animal Crossing. I was looking at different patterns, and there are some phenomenal Animal Crossing patterns out there at the moment, especially for the characters, that they're so good. You don't need my pattern. Like, they are amazing. So definitely, if you're thinking about Animal Crossing, the characters side of things, definitely have a look on Etsy and Ravelry, because there are some amazing. They're so detailed. They're so good. I could maybe do something like a little bell bag. That's a bit of a cop out, though, isn't it? I don't know. I'd like to, but I feel like there's already such good ones out there that I don't know. I feel like I'd be wasting everybody's time. I'm going back in here. Keep an eye on the time, Cam, if we're going for 10 minutes. All right. Let's see if Sharon's harassing me again. Yeah. All right, let's how long have you been crocheting and how many tips for a beginner? Okay, I kind of covered both of those ones. Pow sheets. If you could travel anywhere in the world without worrying about COVID, where would you go? Okay, I would go straight away. I can answer this. I would go to India. I would love to go to India, all over India though, not just one particular area. Like this little triangle you could do. I'd like to go up to the mountains. India would absolutely be where I want to go. I'd love to go there. One day we will go there. I think Cam's a bit nervous because you have quite a lot of allergies, don't you? Food-related allergies. So I think you're more concerned about that than I am. But maybe I'll go on my own. Maybe me and Pepper could go.
Okay, I guess I'm invited.
You can stay at home, Cam.
Quick super chat from Helen O'Reilly Long. Any thoughts of doing a beginner easy cardie? ? Oh,
we're back to the sizing issues again, aren't we? First of all, thank you for the super chat. You absolutely didn't have to do the super chat. Cardies. I would love to be able to confidently say I would do a cardigan or clothing, but sizing's such an issue for me. And I don't know if that's because I have this sort of slightly chaotic approach to life and that I don't have the interest in gauge swatching and all the maths, all the sensible bits behind it. I don't know if I could stay focused long enough to come up with a cardie. I am quite liking though. I know I'm a bit slow on the trends. Like the Harry Styles. It feels horrible even saying it, but the Harry Styles cardie, the versions, like the pastel versions people have been making, are amazing. So I kind of would like to give it a go. But at the moment, I tend to shy away from clothing. I know my limits when it comes to what I can and cannot crochet. I think it's safe to say. And I think at the moment I'm a bit frightened of clothing.
You've had a couple of questions. One from XX Blueberry Butterfly XX.
What an amazing name, Blueberry Butterfly. Sorry.
Floats off tongue. What are you planning to do your tutorial on next? And you've also got in the same line that Ziva Costa said, what kind of amigurumi patterns are you making next? It's kind of like what's coming up.
Okay, so what's coming up? All right, so I've got to be careful now because I'm really good at telling you what I've got planned and then it never happens. The Worry Blob is a classic example of that, where I get excited about something I've just made and then I show the world and then it never happens. So amigurumi wise, there is Alan the Snowman 100% coming up. I do have an ice cream, but I kind of feel like ice cream season is over now. I don't know if maybe that has to wait till next year now. I have a wrap. I've got some stitches. I've got some shawls. I've got a blanket. I'm working on. I'm very excited about. I don't even know if I can say anything about it, but I'm very excited. Cam, do you know which blanket I could be talking about? Maybe.
Oh, sorry, I've been reading the comments.
He's not even listening. Wow. So yeah, I do have a blanket coming up, and I've got another one in my brain, which has yet to make it to hook and hand form. So there'll be a couple of blankets coming up, which I'm really excited about, and I'm really hoping everyone else will be excited about as well. Having said that now, probably no one will pay any attention and it'll just flop, but mixture of everything, some stitches, so sort of as I try and keep like a bit of a mixture going on my channel, there's a mixture of things coming, and then whatever I do at the time. So I'm not that great at forward planning. I plan a little bit, but generally I'm winging it.
Couple of follow-ons, one from Albertine Hokewater, which is, I love your nail polish. It's so funny that I imagine you to be a blonde woman.
A lot of people do think I'm going to be blonde. And thank you for my non-YouTube friendly. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Can you see it on camera?
You can always see closer.
I don't know. Can you see?
Like, they're slightly out of focus, but they there you go.
Got a bit of,
the camera's adjusting.
Yeah, it's got really dark in here as well.
The room is now you've done that. It's focused.
Yeah, you can see. I feel like
I'm back off. The room will illuminate. There you go.
I feel like I'm sitting in darkness here. I've just got one light. I can't see anything.
Susan Eureka, again, apologies for pronunciation, from Las Vegas. Suggestion: join your samples into a mosaic afghan. Which sounds interesting.
I've got a vision of like this amazing like Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat of like a blanket with various stitches, and all my yarn samples are all like bright colors or some of the weird, ugly, clashing shades. I think that could look really cool as a blanket, but I'll probably never do it. But I'd like to think that one day I will. So I'm shifting again because I've gone from having pins and needles in my feet to now my bottom has fallen asleep, which we all needed to know about, didn't we, really?
Yolanda Ramirez has said, do you know if anyone has a video on crocheting a large oval tablecloth? And I don't know if you particularly do one, but you might be able to shout out someone who may have. Or someone in the comments may.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oval tablecloth. I know there are a lot of like vintage patterns out there which are beautiful. Can I think of anybody off the top of my head crochet wise? See, now the thing with YouTube, oh, I'm shifting again. The thing with YouTube, so I don't really watch much YouTube, so I don't really follow what's happening, and that's mostly because I don't really want to be influenced by what I'm watching. So I like to try and just stay in my own little bubble. So I'm always paranoid about inadvertently copying or treading on other people's toes, and I get really paranoid and worried about things like that. So I've stopped watching and I limit myself now. So I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head. But if anybody in the comments knows, definitely, yeah, like it's particularly like anyone that does thread work or that sort of thing.
Well, hopefully someone in the comments.
Yeah.
The reference one.
Yeah, hopefully. Sorry, I keep shifting around. I can't get comfortable now.
Just to let Melissa Lane know in the comments. So I hear all the time on your videos, and I hear him all the time in your videos, and I love it. Love to see Steve the bossy cat. Just to clarify, Steve is not him.
Yeah, Steve is actually female.
But she is very bossy.
She is.
We did think. Out now, though.
Oh, has she gone outside? I was looking for her. I thought she might be that way. Steve. When we got her, we thought she was male, which is why she's called Steve. And then by the time we'd got to the vets, and the vets had sort of gone, you do know that's a little girl. By that point, Steve was called Steve. And even though they suggested we change her name, we kind of didn't want to. So she regularly is thought of as a boy, which is understandable because who in their right minds calls their female cat Steve? But yeah, no, Steve isn't here, unfortunately. Now, when I did the live stream with Little John, Steve, without me realizing, came in and sat right behind me. So this is normally Steve's spot here. This is her sort of grotty scrap blanket. I was covered in cat hair.
Just a follow-up to a previous question from Dil Singh, who also said she would love to go to India and see her family there. And obviously, you know, you're technically of the same heritage. You've got an Indian heritage to you.
Yes, so my great... Yeah. So no, not my great. My grandmother is Maltese, and my grandfather is Indian on my father's side, which is why I have such dark eyebrow, which I have to separate into two.
Susan Eureka from Las Vegas also super chat today at £5. I can't see a comment follow-up from her yet, but I wanted to give her a shout out for that.
Oh, thank you very much. It's quite frustrating. Normally we did have plans. Our tech was you could pin it so it would pop up on screen and we could all get all excited.
Well. I think I know why it isn't working. It's just I can't fix it while you're live.
Okay.
Just a quick follow-up from Kelly Hart who asked Cam, what was your favourite Star Wars character? I'd have to say Han Solo.
Of course it would be Han Solo.
Han's cool, isn't he? He's a dude.
Could you pick someone other than Han? He's actually incredibly arrogant and irritating.
R2.
R2D2.
I love R2. He's a dude.
How do you feel about BB-8?
Knows how to keep a secret as well, because you knew about Anakin the whole time.
How do you feel about BB-8?
He doesn't exist.
BB-8's adorable. Don't be mean. I allow BB-8.
Let's continue.
If anybody has any other Star Wars questions for Cam, he would love that. All right, I found one. Okay, no, Katie O'Connell was asking about reading patterns, which I have already covered. What else we got in here? Cat's Creations 2020 on Instagram asked what was my favorite make and what do I like making most. So I've covered that with amigurumi and permades, but I do like making shawls. I'm a bit of a shawl fan. I'm not sure why.
So a good question from Angela Farron-Bart going, hello Robin, do you have any tutorials for crochet doilies?
I don't think I do actually. Don't think I do. I think that's probably down to my patience or lack of when it comes to doilies and things. Again, I can't think of anybody that does. That would fall under the same sort of pretty tablecloths and things. If anybody has answered that in the chat, the recommendations for who to go to for doilies. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head, unfortunately. I have another question here. Oh, this is a great question. Victoria Jones on Facebook asked me, do you ever make anything and then absolutely hate it? Yes, all the time. All the time. All the time, to the point where very recently, actually, my blanket that I'm not talking about, but I'm quite excited about, I spent months making it in a certain colorway, and I finished it and I laid it out to block it. It's only last week, and I took one look at it and decided absolutely hate it, even though there is months of work. I spent so long trying to get this blanket finished because I wanted to film it and I was so excited about it, and I decided I absolutely hate the colors when I saw it. When I was working on it, it was in my lap, it looked beautiful, and just for some reason I laid it out and went no. And so I have restarted this blanket in a completely different colorway. So yes, I regularly make things and finish them and then decide I hate them. So yeah, quite erratic like that. Cam, do you have any more questions in the chat? Because we've gone
I'm
past.
enjoying reading the chat.
You're enjoying reading the chat.
How Dilsey again is going off to Florida next year to see Star Wars at Disney, and then Deanna Walker followed up to make me really jealous, saying it's amazing, and well, they have Walt Disney World annual passes and love Galaxy's Edge. So,
well, one day, Cam. One day we will go. We will go.
We'll go back to the
yes, USA. We'll go to America
again.
Yes, and we will go to, because there's two, isn't there? There's Walt Disney World and Land. I can't remember. Yeah, I've been to Euro Disney, and that was just a bit naff.
When we were in LA, we didn't have time to see the OG Disneyland, but we got the one in Florida as well. One day.
Yeah. By Robin takes over Disneyland.
We've had a few comments this evening about the unit behind you, and yes, it is from IKEA.
Yes, it's very, very old IKEA. That's IKEA. Yeah. It's an IKEA Expedit unit. I think now they have Kallax, so it's a bit thicker. I think the Kallax are the same all the way around. That's a very old unit now. But yes, it's super handy for yarn. And yes, it does get dusty. But do I care? No, not really, because look at it, it's beautiful. I'll take some dusty yarn.
White, by the way, isn't blue. Someone asked what's the blue unit, but it is. It's just
it's white. I think it's just the light. Yeah, because when we started this live stream, it was beautiful sunshine outside, and now it's like dark. It's dark in here too. I think the light's massively changed.
As we're getting near the end, I just got one more question on here from Albertine Hochholder again. When will you be doing the carpet stitch, or have I missed it? It's not actually one I've heard you mention before.
No, it is. Oh my god, what am I like? Okay, so it was that blanket I had on the back here for ages that I was making from Donna's yarn that she gave me. That's super specific. I'm now just having a chat with Cam, my husband. Okay, so the carpet stitch, I completely forgot about that. I was going to film that before last Christmas. That was all right, let's chalk that one up to the autumn, and we're going to put it on Cam. You have to remind me to film the carpet stitch.
Okay.
So if it doesn't happen, you can blame him, but I will make that one of my beginning stitch ones as we come back in the, so call it late September, it will be out. But I had clean forgotten about this. Is my trouble. I'd clean forgotten because that was off the back of the that puff, triple puff, lotus puff, I don't know the name of it, stitch.
Another good late question. What is your favorite weight of yarn to use?
Ooh, that is a good question. So favorite weight of yarn, I'm gonna have to use the English weights because I can't get my head around the American worsted, light worsted, and all that jazz. I don't know. I don't understand those. So I mostly have, as you can see back there, that's mostly double knit weight, with the whirls being like a light, like a fingering sock weight. For my own personal projects, I would say I like Aran or Chunky purely because it works up so much faster. But I have mostly double knit yarn because look at the colors. Look, hopefully they're showing up. Even if my hair doesn't look blue and green, just looks blue. Hopefully you can see the colors, all those beautiful yarns. They are beautiful, and you just get slightly more yardage for double knit. So I offset my impatience a bit, but in an ideal world, Aran or Chunky. I don't say Aran. I haven't got any Aran weight in the house at all. Just lying now. Just lying. Double knit or Chunky would be the answer to that. All right, Cam. So what I'm going to do is, because it is getting quite late, I am going to take 3 more questions.
Yes.
Of your choice, dealer's choice,
yes.
from the live chat.
Okay.
I will take 3 more questions from here. Actually, let's call it 2 from because quite a few of these I think I've already answered in the live chat. If I take 2 questions from here,
yes,
and then if I answer those, and then you do 3 from the live chat, and then I think we should call it a day purely from you must be tired from reading a lot of live chats over there.
Again, just to say, Frank said, yeah, my job is to remind Robin
yes, absolutely. Honestly, you're not, I know a lot of people feel like they're bothering me, but I will say I'll do something and then I genuinely, it just leaves my brain and it's gone forever. If I've said I'm going to do something, if I don't do it, please remind me, because I will forget. Carpet stitch, classic
again, just
example.
a shout out to Dillian, who said she's holiday in Ilfracombe a few times. Ilfracomb's really close to us.
Literally 15 minutes away from us.
We go there all the time.
Yes. Big up North Devon crew.
Yeah.
My mother has a shop in Ilfracombe. Yeah.
If we do the final 3, so the third one.
Oh, I was gonna answer mine first, but
go for yours first.
I was gonna do the paper ones first, and then that gives you time to pick 3. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Sarah Ward asked me, where and how do you store all of your yarns? It'd be great to see if you have a special display area. You sound addicted to buying wool. My husband's always complaining as balls appear all over the house. So Cam, would you say I'm addicted to buying wool?
It's way past addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just compulsion. Yeah. Okay, so where and how do I store all my yarn? So this is like my display yarn. This is my yarns. That this changes quite a bit with what's there, depending on what I pick out and what I use. This is my day-to-day yarn, but I do also have, so where I'm sitting now, I've got a unit in the corner over there, which is full of my Shapier's Chunky Monkey and some cottons and my chunky yarns over there. I've got a dresser in the hallway. I've got crates on the wall in the office. I don't really have a storage system other than just like hide it, shove it is my storage. So again, it just adds to my slightly chaotic nature that I don't be fooled by this. This is because it looks nice and I like it to look nice. All my other yarn is chucked down there, just on the floor. All right, one more question that I have here. Oh, which I've already answered. So Bella and Bentley's mum, Doris, was asking, how and when did I make the decision to become a YouTuber? Is it fun? And what's the biggest challenge? Actually, those are 2, I'm going to deviate. Those are 2 quite good questions. Is it fun being a YouTuber? Yes, it can be. It can be loads of fun. I really enjoy the comment section. This has been weirdly fun. I think I've relaxed a bit now. Yeah, it can be fun. I've made some good friends because of it as well. What's the biggest challenge? Time for me. Time. I'm ideas rich and time poor. So I think that is probably my biggest challenge. I'm not really too bothered about negative comments in the comment section because more often than not, I can either ignore them, laugh them off, or they might have a point. So it might be worth listening to them to see if you can spot any little clues in there. Right, but I'm going to pick one more from here purely because I feel like that was only half a question. Whilst Cam is storing up.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
You've got a couple. Okay. Kathy Streeter asked me, what inspires you to create? Loved ones, nature, filling a need for less fortunate, pure joy. What inspires me to create?
Other than me.
You do not inspire me to create, Cam.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're on
camera. No,
yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry. You are. I know you think you're my muse, but you do not inspire me to create. I don't know what inspires me to create. My brain. My brain is just wired that way. I chase the dopamine. That's what I'm doing. God, these are really difficult questions. I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea to leave such difficult questions in for myself to answer. Okay, Cam, go. I'm ready. Let's take.
Crochet Chronicles asks,
yes.
I love your voice. I'm a new crochet YouTuber. Do you have any advice for me?
Yes. So, favorite topic. Advice for a new crochet YouTuber. Keep going. Keep going. Even if, I mean, now I don't know how big you are. I don't know if you are brand new and you've got no subscribers or you're got 500,000 subscribers. I don't know. Keep going is my first advice. It's a really long, hard slog, and it feels like a really thankless task sometimes. And it can be quite isolating and quite lonely. So just keep going. Second of all, be you. So you are your unique selling point. No one else can be you. It is called YouTube. Be yourself. What other advice would I have? Keep going. Be yourself.
That's the core, isn't it?
And a bit like I just mentioned about the comment section, if you get negative comments, read them, disassociate a little bit. Don't take it personally. Just don't take it personally, because people are vile on the internet. You have to get a thick skin. Don't take it personally. And then some of them, you can maybe unpack them and find out if there's something, if you're getting the same comment a lot. So an example, a really quick example, right in the very beginning, I watched a couple of YouTube videos and they had music on. So I assumed that's what you did. I didn't have a clue when I was first making videos. So I put music on because other people have music on, and I assumed that's what you do. The amount of people that complained that I had background music, people were really rude about it. They weren't polite. They weren't pleasant. They weren't, oh, hey, you know, I'm aware you're another human being on the other side of the screen. Here's my advice. I find it a bit distracting. People are rude. If you can step back and not take that personally when people are being vile to you, actually they had a point. The music was useless and distracting. And the minute I stopped putting the music in, I never got another comment again like that. So pay attention to your comments. You can pick stuff up even from the really rude ones, but mostly keep going, and maybe find a fellow YouTube buddy who knows what it's like. I'm friends with a couple of YouTubers now, and we all get on really well, and it's super helpful to have someone you can bounce stuff off. So that'd be my main advice.
Gail Perry asked, are you doing more Q&As?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. If you guys like this random chaotic vibe live stream, then yeah, I don't see why we couldn't.
And as it's a quick answer, maybe it's like plug for you. Where do you get your yarn from? Question mark.
Where do I get my yarn from? Who asked that question?
It's not Snufflebee.
Oh, okay. Just checking it wasn't Laurelyn.
That's from Linda Simpson.
Okay, so where do I get my yarn from? Most of my yarn I get from Snufflebee Yarn. She is a one-woman show. She's a good friend of mine. She does, it's just her on her own. She's got some beautiful yarns. A lot of what you see behind me comes from her. So I like to try and support her as much as I possibly can. Now, if Laurelyn of Snufflebee Yarn doesn't have what particular brand or something that I'm looking for, the other places I shop are Ice Yarns. I have shopped quite a lot from Ice Yarns in the past. I've got a local shop here in my town in Devon. I don't know how specific I can be, called the Yarn Ball. So the Yarn Ball, I like to go in there because, again, independent yarn shop. That's a bricks and mortar store. So if you're looking to buy online, I recommend Snufflebee Yarn. If you are local in my town, I recommend the Yarn Ball, but try and find someone independent or local to you.
Just to say a quick follow-up, someone did ask earlier, and it slipped my mind, saying, could you recommend any US stores? Because Ice Yarn's really expensive to import. Ice
Yarn is expensive. The shipping is expensive. American stores, now I don't know any American stores. Yeah. I tell you a girl who does, and that's Alicia from Little John's Yarn. So if you go over to her channel, she does quite a few like reviews of American like box stores. Do you call them box stores? A Dollar Tree, above my head, but she's an American YouTuber. Go over there.
And she's really nice to be fair.
She's amazing. I love her. Yeah. Go check her out. Her link is underneath the video at the moment in like the description box.
I feel like this comment, I know we said 3 and he's reading out. And
yeah, we're getting up to like question 5 now.
Say, I live in Austin, Texas. You say, I asked you about your underwear. Forgive me. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
I'd love to know. Okay, we need clarification because I don't remember saying I made my own underwear.
This is the rumor to spread. I think it
shall we just start this rumor that Hook Brother crochets her own underwear? Yeah, no. Did I say that? I'm gonna, yeah, let me know if you're watching the replay of this live stream. Please let me know. Did I say I crocheted my underwear, or did I not? She still hasn't clarified. She's just apologized. All right, okay. So I feel like I've rambled on for way too long. Thank you to my lovely husband Cameron.
I feel some mild pressure to appear because several people have asked.
You can come and join me on the sofa. I should
very briefly.
Yes, but I think the ring light will reflect in your glasses.
Yeah, probably.
You can come and have your 2 minutes of fame. There you
briefly.
Go. I don't even know if you're on the camera or not.
I should be in this corner.
You're sitting on all my questions. I need these timestamps for afterwards. These are first world problems for you.
Well, this is just a short hello because you've got to wrap up now.
Yes. Yes, it's got Josh to the professional YouTuber thing. So thank you very much for joining me on this live stream. Thank you to Cam for being master of ceremonies and having way too much fun over there in the comments. I think if I do another live stream, I have no doubt that he will want to come along and help. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all my videos and just generally being amazing in the comments. Like I say, I haven't been able to see anything that you're saying. I don't even know if anyone's still there. But yeah, thank you so much for all your support. And I will now not be uploading for probably a month or so, just to take a little bit of a break. So I will be back late summer, early autumn, where we can fire up when everyone starts making blankets and start thinking about Christmas and things. I may do the odd live stream. Let me know if you've enjoyed this. I'm sure we could do something else maybe at some point. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So thank you very much for watching, and I'm hoping that Cam is going to hit stop live streaming at any point. So until then,
okay.
bye-bye.